At the Archleek's hideout, returning Monarch's leader Darik is angry as he finds out that one of the 7 soul fragments was completely destroyed, and he wonders who can it be. Darik shares that it was 70 years ago when he found the Archleek Lord's soul and formed a contract. 40 years after that, he had also become an Archleek through the power he gained from the contract and the map of the soul pieces. He then formed the returning Monarch, and now he has successfully expanded the organization to the size it is today. All that was left for him to do was to find the soul fragments for the resurrection. Is the Archleek Lord's complete resurrection impossible now? Darik wonders. He says that the Archleek Lord's memories were shattered into the soul fragments, so he needs all of them for his memories to be intact. That is why it's been hard for them to find the other pieces since we only have one piece, but recently all their efforts piled up to nothing because of a certain someone who managed to kill all of their elite forces in Lirin, the magic crystal in which some of the Archleek Lord's consciousness is stored in. The Archleek Lord's consciousness tells the Darik not to worry because even if he is resurrected with one less fragment, he still has a way to make up for it. He also have a way to transcend his past. But of course, it'll become more difficult the less fragments he has. He asks Darik when he will be possessing the second fragment. Darik replies that yesterday he received a news informing him that the second fragment has been found. Darik goes to says that it's too much early for them to be desperate, but suddenly he feels that the presence of the group that acquired the second fragment is gone. The Archleek Lord says that yet another one of his fragment just got destroyed. At that time, on the contrary, Mord has already annihilated the Lich who was carrying the second fragment. Mord tells the Lich not be upset because the Lich is the second one who was killed by a 15-year boy. The second soul fragment of the Archleek Lord has been destroyed. Mord says that this Lich's magic skills seemed a bit different from the other one, but its combat skills were the same. That made things easier for Mord as he was able to defeat it without any difficulty. Mord realizes that he has definitely gotten stronger ever since the fight in Lirin, which was 2 months ago. However, he says that the one who has improved the most is Kale. Leon thinks that Kale got incredibly strong after consuming the god of combat's tears. He can't manifest aura yet, but his mana has definitely increased, and he's become more skilled. Leon thinks that the Archleek had been summoning advanced undead. He had managed to summon 4 Death Knights, the apex of the undead. While Mord fought off the Archleek, Kale and Leon fought the 4 Death Knights. But Leon says that if he considers the contribution rate, Kale probably did 80% of the work. Kale asks Leon for how many years he will keep using this sword. Leon tells Kale not to lecture. Leon thinks that others wouldn't understand why he uses swords. He says that there is an important reason behind it because a sword to him represents his freedom from his prison-like past and his will to live freely. They found 4 treasures in total. Mord says that he destroyed the Golden Throne and got the 10th fragment. It didn't fit in with any of the other fragments he already had, but he did want to find a useful item. Mord says that half of these treasures are trash. Mord conveys that this is a dark magic text that will allow a person to form a contract with a powerful being of the demon realm, but Mord doesn't need that, and as there was no information of this silver bracelet, so Mord decides to keep it for now. Lastly, a bottle filled with a liquid is left. Mord picks it up and throws it at Kale. He tells Kale to drink it. Kale asks, "What is this?" Mord replies that it's nectar, and it seems that the Archleek Lord prepared it for his resurrection. Nectar is the name of a drink that only the highest-ranked gods were allowed to consume, according to myth. It is supposed to have been made from the world tree's essence, and if a human were to drink it, they may obtain divine powers. Leon asks Mord why is he giving this to Kale if this drink is so powerful, then Mord should drink it first. Mord replies that they are more losses than benefits if he drinks it. Leon tells him to explain the reason. Mord replies that it would be very hard for him to explain, so they should accept it as a fact. Mord was actually going to drink it, but the moment he held it in his hand, his instinct whispered to him, telling that this is poison for him. Mord thinks that it did not matter when it was just Werner's divine blood within him. But with the awakening of Arita, the god of heavens, he doesn't know what would happen to the balance of the divine powers if he were to drink this. But if Kale were to drink it, it would make him stronger, as well as allow him to possess world fragments. Only those with divine powers are allowed to absorb world fragments. Mord explains that this does not refer to divine blood only. Those who received attention from a god and were given a strong blessing, or those who were combined with something that possessed divine power, or those who consumed nectar. All also meet this requirement. Mord says that he has no intention of sharing the world fragments, but there is one thing Mord is worried about, which is the creation of New World. In the New World, all the people Aiden had loved were there, and they had all forgotten about the destroyed old world, allowing them to live happy lives as victors. The New World was like a model garden created for Aiden, a model garden in which the only real people were Aiden's friends, while the rest were just fake models of people that Aiden had created. Aiden did not dream of such a world from the beginning. The new world Aiden's enemies wanted to create were worlds where their own fantasies were realized, and Aiden rejected such a fake world. But the more fragments he collected, the more he was drawn to this ideal. In the end, he made a horrible world that was much more selfish and terrible than what his enemies had wanted to create. Mord concludes that if collecting all of the world fragments make it so that you cannot resist the temptation of a new world, then it's probably wise to have a trustworthy teammate with whom he can share the fragments with. After leaving Palace, they did two things for 20 days. First, they destroyed the returning monarch's secret base. Second, we found a soul fragment that even the returning monarch hadn't found and destroyed it. And now, they're headed to the base of the Sage of Darkness, according to Levon's information. As they were running, Kale notices that the sky looks ominous and stops. Kale points out at the demonification phenomenon. Leon says that this time it's a large one. Mord thinks that the first demonification he came across was about 500 meters, but this demonification has already covered half of the city, which makes it incomparably dangerous. Leon asks, is this the place where the Sage of Darkness's base is? Mord replies that it seems like the base is swallowed by that demonification thing. Leon asks that shouldn't they wait for the warriors of this city to take care of the demonification first? Mord replies, saying no because theirs is someone that Mord needs to repay. Mord has experienced one change ever since his senses reached a higher dimension, which initiated the activation of a seventh sense. He says that if up to the sixth sense is human, then the seventh sense is a god's sense. Only those who have access to the power of the heavens can look at the true essence of the world through this seventh sense, and this seventh sense is telling him that Erna Vernars is there. At the city, a person is begging Erna Vernars to save Viden because Viden stayed behind to help them. Erna replies that entering now is not possible, and they need to wait until the backup squad gets here. Suddenly, Erna feels a sensation of divine blood nearby. At the entering gate of the city, the guards tells Leon that if he wants to see Miss Erna, then he needs to take off his mask. Leon says that he can't do that because he has a terrible scar on his face. Mord thinks that Leon is being stubborn. Then he realizes that it's natural for a brother to feel this way because Erna is a sibling that's important to Leon, whom he couldn't see for years. However, Mord conceives that Leon is embarrassed to see Erna since he's left the family. Mord awakens his divine blood as he gets ready to use a more violent method. He releases his aura. The guards get scared a bit and asks whether they intend to fight. Kale gets shocked and tells Mord to control himself and not to fight because it would be a great trouble if Mord get caught by the Vernars military. Mord reassures Kale by saying that he doesn't intend to fight. He is just calling Erna Vernars by releasing his divine blood. Kale asks Mord about whom is he talking about. Erna Vernars lands and greets Mord. Mord bows down to greet Miss Erna. Erna orders the guards to guide Mord and the others to her tent because they are valuable guests. The guard informs Erna that this man is wearing a helmet and seems suspicious. Erna looks at Leon and then tells the guards to also escort him to her tent. Erna thought that Mord was heading north, so she asks Mord what is he doing here. Mord explains that he was carrying a secret mission under General Ilden's orders and they have something they need to do here, that's why they are here. The personal escort of Miss Erna finds Mord very arrogant as Mord is talking casually with Erna. Erna replies that if it's a secret mission, then Mord needs to keep as low of a profile as possible. So, why did Mord came to see her where there are lots of people? She questions. Mord replies that he has come here to repay his debts because the martial god's tears which he received from Erna saved his life. Erna asks Mord whether he consumed them. Mord replies, saying yes. He says that when he consumed them, he earned aura. No way. This can't be true. Aura at the age of 15. Erna gets extremely shocked because even Miss Erna, who was known as a genius from a young age and received the best education, did not earn aura at the age of 15. The escort wonders how can a person achieved this kind of feat. Erna praises Mord by saying that Mord's talents are beyond someone's imagination, as it's only being 3 months since she last saw Mord, but now he has already earned aura and also made friends along the way. Kale greets Miss Erna and introduces himself by saying his name. Kale introduces that he is an advanced warrior under General Ilden's command. Leon tries to introduce himself as P-9 and says that he is a mercenary. What are you trying to do? Leon, Erna asks. Then Leon realizes that Erna knew from the beginning that the helmet-wearing guy is Leon. Erna explains that she recognized Leon from the beginning, but she thought that Leon just doesn't want others to know that it was him. That's why she brought you here. Did you really think I, Erna Vernars, wouldn't recognize you, Leon, with whom I have spent my childhood? Erna questions. Erna says that she knew Leon was working as a mercenary, but she never expected that Leon will Jion Mord. For Leon, Erna was a lovely child that he had thought of as his own sister, the same person who made Leon look upon his own disgusting dark side. Leon had kept his distance from Erna because of his envy, but Erna had always been thinking about Leon. While removing his helmet, Leon says that he is feeling all kinds of complex emotions right now, as he is genuinely happy to see Erna again. Leon tells Erna that she has grown a lot since the last time he met her. Erna smiles and replies that it's been 5 years after all, and she has become 20 years old already. Mord intervenes and tells Erna that he wants to ask something. Mord asks Erna whether she is also able to differentiate individuals of the Vernars bloodline with just divine blood. Erna answers by saying yes, but she says that it's restricted to the people she already knows. Erna gets a bit confused and asks Mord whether he can also use this skill. Mord replies that he can use the same skill, and it's also restricted to the people he knows. Erna finds it very surprising that it being only 2 years since she learned this skill, but Mord can do it despite having awakened only a year ago. Erna realizes that she has underestimated Mord because he can use both divine blood detection as well as aura at such a young age. Lastly, she concludes that she can expect a lot from Mord then. Mord asks Erna about the current situation of this city. Erna explains that the demonification is happening, and if this reaches level 3, then this entire city will become a place where no life can thrive, and if a dungeon break occurs, then it'll become a historical disaster. Erna says that Vidin and she were dispatched to prevent this from happening. Vidin got here first and went in saying that he will carry out the raid, but the result was a complete disaster. Half of Vidin's squad died before Erna even got here, and only one of them managed to escape to tell her this news, but the biggest problem is that Vidin is also trapped in there. Erna says that the backup team will need at least 3 days to get here, so they have no choice but to wait here until the backup arrives. Erna explains that this demonification dungeon's core must be a feudal lord rank, so they're assuming that it's a demon realm count. She says that a count of the demon realm has an army led by other feudal lord rank demon. She understands that her squad alone can't handle this. However, she says that if Mord's party agree to help them, then it would be worth a shot to try and rescue the survivors, so she asks for Mord's decision. Mord thinks that Vidin did not appear in the novel. That must be because he died here. Mord says that he wouldn't help if it was just Vidin dying here. But there is one thing that bothers him. It's that Erna is also someone who wasn't a part of the novel. Mord says that if the reason for that is because Erna died before Aiden's story began, then there is no guarantee that she did not die here. So Mord thinks that this is a good opportunity for him to prevent Erna's death and see if she's a good candidate to become the Archduke. And if Mord has more achievements to his name by defeating a feudal lord rank demon, then it'll be greatly helpful to achieving level 2 of divine blood opening. So taking all of this into consideration, Mord decides to help. Erna tells her squad not to forget that their goal is to rescue the survivors and then fall back as soon as possible. Erna's squad has 15 people total, and adding Mord's party, it makes it 18. Mord realizes that Leon wouldn't use his fists to keep his identity a secret. As they were walking forward, they find that a bunch of monsters are running towards them from every side. Erna suggests that they should make an opening in the direction where Viden is in, but she says that she can't feel Viden's presence, so she predicts that Viden must be at a pretty deep place. Mord says that he thinks he knows which direction Viden is. Erna says that she would trust Mord and orders everybody to open up their divine blood as they would make this effort count. In the next scene, Viden's party in under attack and surrounded by demons. Viden tells his comrades, Botan and Wools, that he is sorry for his shortcomings. Wools tells young Master Viden not to give up. The high-ranking demon commander says that the divine blood is the most luxurious delicacy there is, and today he will serve the people with divine blood in the Count's table. Wools tells Botan that he would leave young Master Viden in Botan's care, as Wools will try to open up a path for them. Wools asks Viden whether he remembers that day when he saved a boy who was cursed and became a lycanthrope and was almost burnt at the stake by the villagers. Wools says that if Sir Viden didn't save him that day, he would not exist in this world right now. So today Woolsey says that he is finally going to repay Sir Viden for saving his life that day. Wools tells them not to give up as they still have hope, and then transforms into a lycanthrope. Wools tells the demon that he would show him who the real prey is. Wools charges forward and bites one of the lower demons. The demon commander perceives that Woolsey devours his enemies to recover his mana. One of the demon uses his staff to attack Wools. Wools sees it and jumps upward, kills that demon. The commander demon praises Woolsey for being this strong. The demon tells Woolsey that now he is going to play it seriously and uses an attack, the Light of Execution, which makes Wools immovable for a moment. The demon then attacks Wools in the chest using a spear. By seeing this, Viden can't stop himself and tells Botan that he wants to fight because it's more honorable for a warrior to die in the battle. As Botan was stopping Viden from acting recklessly, the demon appears in front them and tries to attack Viden. Suddenly, an impulse ball rain strikes that area and almost every demon was killed. The commander demon thinks, who can it be? He then gets attacked by a mirage destruction which heavily injured him. In the meantime, Botan takes Viden to a safe place. Mord enters the area from the sky. His landing was so impactful that the ground shatters. After landing, Mord grabs the demon's head and punches it, completely breaking it into pieces. Botan and Viden witness Mord using telekinesis and thinks that only master-rank magic combat artists can use telekinesis. Wools tries to attack Mord, but Mord stops it. Viden shouts, telling Mord that Woolsey is not an enemy, and he doesn't mean to attack Mord as Woolsey can't differentiate between ally and enemies because of his current state. Viden reassures Mord that Woolsey will become normal after some time. Mord replies that he knows Sir Woolsey already. Mord then knocks out Sir Wools. Viden wonders whether he has met a divine blood awakener as strong as the person standing in front of him before. Viden gets completely shocked when he sees that the person standing in front of him is none other than Mord Vernars.